Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and Restless official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Perhaps Chelsea and Kyle ought to try their hand at friendship on the Young and the Restless. When everything they knew would happen turns out precisely as they expected, they could be amazed by life. It seems like Chelsea tossed away her profession, which she had spent years cultivating on a whim. She made the choice so hastily that she didn't even give 2 weeks' notice. Instead, she quit immediately without speaking to Chloe, her former partner and best friend who is now her co-worker. All based on the idea that Adam has changed, and she warned him not to play Victor's pawn. What? That won't work, will it? She may simply go through the picture album and be reminded of every point in her Newman-related life where Victor meddled or controlled her circumstances if she doesn't trust us. And that's before we even discuss Adam's tendencies. Kyle, meantime, was taken aback today to learn that Victor wasn't thrilled about his and Claire's impending move-in together. "Is this the real world? Is this for real?" he exclaimed. Was the memo lost on him? When Kyle learned that Granddaddy knew what he was doing with his granddaughter, he freaked out. He had been laughing for months that Victor scared him. Why? Kyle performed exactly what he had planned to say and do. Abbott Jr. lost his cockiness when it came to TGVN in a split second. Do you want further information? We've got you. The greatest comprehensive YNR recaps may be found online at Soap Central. You may even go back more than 30 years and read them all. We also provide daily spoilers if you are unable to wait for the upcoming episode. Additionally, whatever you do this weekend, please don't. The 2 Scoops is as close as we can get to being a watching party without actually being a program, so don't forget to read it for some chuckles. Hey, admit it, we're hilarious. The best thing is that we want to hear if you agree or disagree. Please leave a comment below as usual. Lauren and Michael recalled the day they found out they were expecting a child. Michael had worried that he might not be a good father, but Lauren had reassured her adored husband that he was a different man now. Michael had vowed to do everything in his power to be the best father he could be for his child. Michael declared that they were stronger than ever because of the difficulties they had faced and conquered, and he and Lauren praised the family they had accumulated over the years. Lauren sadly recalled an instance in which she nearly ruined everything, stating that their survival depended on a miracle. They had succeeded because they were destined to be parents and husband and wife, Michael informed Larwin. In a moving moment, Michael and Lauren recalled how Finn had given them a compass to represent their challenging journey with him. Finn had given his parents credit for raising him and showing him love without criticism or harsh words. Finn also gave his parents credit for saving his life. Lauren assured Michael that no matter what occurred in the future, they would be fine regardless of his choice. Lauren suggested that Michael follow the course that would bring him the greatest happiness. In order to spend more time with Lauren, Michael informed her that he had decided to retire. Are you sure? Lauren asked. Michael took Lauren's hand and led her to the dance floor after responding that he was positive. Reminiscent of beautiful moments they had experienced over the years of their marriage, the pair danced while holding each other tightly. I love you so much, Lauren added. Haven't we had an amazing adventure? They'd only just begun, Michael said with a smile. Nick called for Sharon as he stepped into a pitch-black crimson lights. Surprise, shouted Sharon, Noah, Mariah, Tessa, Faith, and Moses as they leaped out from behind the bar as the lights turned on. Nick acknowledged that it hadn't been what he had anticipated as his loved ones applauded and blew noisemakers. Noah clarified that while Nick had left for Milan, they had intended to do something on his birthday. Ray, who wasn't present because he had work that evening, was in charge of the next round of drinks, Sharon added. Noting that Tessa and Moses were under no duty to attend, Nick expressed his gratitude to his friends and family for making the effort. Nick objected, saying it was a birthday celebration and not a roast, but Moses conveyed Devon's best wishes and some light teasing. Faith chirped that they would only be able to hear Nick's cheesy dad jokes, or a roast would sound like more fun. Mariah told Nick to take a seat, but Nick feigned to suddenly recollect a crucial root canal he had booked. Noah covered his father's head with a paper crown. Nick informed Monique over the phone that he would be later than he had anticipated since he was unsure of what to expect from the surprise birthday party that Sharon and his children had planned for him. he said to Sharon after he hung up that he was happy Christian would sleep through the celebration since the youngster still believed his father could do nothing wrong, and Nick intended to maintain that belief for as long as possible. Christian had only talked about how wonderful his dad was when he had stayed with her, Sharon remembered. Nick hoped that all Christian had said had been accepted by Sharon. Nick didn't enjoy the way his children were interacting with each other as he looked around. Moses responded that he was bound to secrecy when he questioned if he had anything to be concerned about. Nick should be afraid, Tessa cautioned, so he shouldn't get too comfortable. When Moses said, very afraid, though he could be too protective at times, Faith encouraged Nick not to worry because they were all there to celebrate him because they loved him and believed he was the best father in the world. Faith was talking about a second grader who had tripped her at a soccer match and then given her the Newman death glare. Nick vowed that it was only a slight expression of disfavor when Moses questioned what that was. Mariah proposed that Nick show Moses what would happen if he went beyond the line, but Noah advised him to hope he never saw it. Tessa pretended to quiver and said that Nick's countenance deepened, as if he were peering through her. Sharon remembered Nick hunting after a teenager who had taken Noah's Halloween candy pail. Noah recalled that Nick had forced the teenager to apologize after dragging him back by the scruff of his neck. Faith said their family was fortunate to have Nick watching out for them and commended him for doing everything it took to help those he cared about. Nick and Faith gave each other a hug. When it was her turn, Mariah declared that she would not be so forgiving of Nick. Everyone moaned when Mariah made the decision to get involved in Nick's romantic life. He pointed out that he didn't have one at the time, but Nick acknowledged that it was fair game. Because he was a hopeless romantic, Mariah anticipated that it wouldn't last long. Given Noah's previous demeanor, Mariah acknowledged that she had once been a hardened cynic and that she assumed it ran in the family. Since Nick didn't intend to date for some time, he rejected her suggestion that she and Noah vet Nick's potential dates. Mariah said that being in love with love was perfectly okay, and she gave Nick credit for accepting Mariah and Cassie into the family without any issues because of his open heart. They embraced after Mariah wished him a happy birthday. "I'm happy to be back in town to watch my dad get older," Noah said. Noah blamed it on not playing basketball for 10 years when Nick pointed out that he could still defeat him. Nick supported Noah throughout his childhood by going to all of his sporting events and accompanying him to photography exhibitions and art exhibits. Noah praised Nick for encouraging Summer in the same way. Faith said that she had heard Nick singing their songs in the bathtub and that he had listened to Tiger Lily when he discovered she enjoyed them. Faith hinted that it had nearly caused her to lose interest in the band. Noah saw Nick as evidence that parents shouldn't get overly engaged in their kids' life. Nick inquired as to whether Noah would accept his offer of employment.